132. That is the number of enemy soldiers, including 4 officers, captured by a single American corporal and 7 of his men in a single, brutal engagement. It happens not on a sprawling battlefield with overwhelming forces, but in a narrow ravine, amidst the chaos and deadly precision of machine gun fire. This is not a tale of massed infantry, but of one man's impossible stand, a quiet mountain marksman facing down an entire German position. How could such an extraordinary feat occur, almost single-handedly, in the dying days of the Great War? In the early hours of October 8, 1918, a chilling fog clings to the Aire River Valley in the Meuse-Argonne region of France. The landscape is a shattered testament to 4 years of relentless war, scarred by shell craters and choked with the debris of battle. This sector forms a critical part of the Meuse-Argonne offensive, the largest and bloodiest operation ever undertaken by the American Expeditionary Force in World War I. The objective is audacious: to penetrate the formidable German defenses, specifically targeting the Decauville Railroad and the North-South Road, vital German supply lines into the Argonne Forest, and ultimately to sever the main lateral railway connecting Mézières and Sedan, forcing a German collapse. Among the weary American soldiers pushing forward through this desolate terrain is Corporal Alvin York. Born on December 13, 1887, in Pall Mall, Fentress County, Tennessee, York hails from the rugged Cumberland Mountains. His early life is one of poverty, spent hunting and farming to support his family, which included 10 younger siblings. This upbringing hones in him an extraordinary skill with a rifle, a precision born of necessity and the wild. Yet, Alvin York is an unlikely warrior. In 1914, he experiences a profound religious conversion, joining the Church of Christ in Christian Union, which adheres to a strict moral code forbidding violence. When the United States enters the war in 1917, York is drafted. He attempts to claim conscientious objector status, stating on his draft card, "Don't want to fight." His appeals are denied 3 times because his church is not officially recognized as a pacifist sect. Despite his deep moral conflict, he reports to Camp Gordon, Georgia, in the fall of 1917. There, his exceptional marksmanship is noted, but he continues to grapple with the order to fight. Eventually, persuaded that his faith is not incompatible with serving his country, he deploys to France on June 27, 1918. Assigned to Company G, 2nd Battalion, 328th Infantry Regiment, of the 82nd Division, known as the All-American Division. He sees his first combat in the successful Saint-Mihiel offensive in September, earning a promotion to corporal. Now, his unit is positioned for the brutal Meuse-Argonne offensive, a battle that has already claimed tens of thousands of lives. The American forces face an entrenched and determined enemy. The German High Command understands the critical importance of the Meuse-Argonne sector, particularly the railway lines that supply their entire western front. They have fortified the region over years, transforming the dense Argonne forest into a labyrinth of defensive positions. More than 50 machine guns, often cleverly concealed in the rugged, forested terrain and along ridges, are dug in, supported by hundreds of infantry troops. The Germans employ booby traps and feigned surrenders, tactics designed to inflict maximum casualties and break American morale. The 82nd Division is tasked with attacking Hill 223, a strategic height overlooking Châtel-Chehery, and then advancing to seize the Decauville Railroad. This objective requires navigating a funnel-shaped valley, a natural killing zone where advancing troops are vulnerable to concentrated fire from multiple directions. The initial phases of the Meuse-Argonne offensive, launched on September 26, have been met with fierce resistance. German divisions, though weary from 4 years of war, are still formidable, expertly using the terrain to their advantage. American units have already suffered heavy casualties. Within the first 5 days, the Germans rush 5 infantry divisions worth of reinforcements into the sector, demonstrating their commitment to holding the line. The challenge is immense. Command skepticism about the ability of American troops to break through these defenses runs high. No one believed it was possible to achieve a rapid breakthrough. They were about to be proven catastrophically wrong by an unexpected force. The morning of October 8, 1918, dawns with a heavy, obscuring fog blanketing the Aire River Valley near Châtel-Chéhéry, France. This dense mist provides a fleeting advantage to the attacking Americans, momentarily masking their movements. Corporal Alvin York, with a small detachment of 16 soldiers from Company G, 2nd Battalion, 328th Infantry Regiment, 82nd Division, sets out from their position near Hill 223. Their mission is critical: to infiltrate German lines, outflank the enemy, and capture the Dikovo Railroad, a vital supply artery for the German Fifth Army. The detachment moves cautiously through the treacherous terrain, navigating the ravines and dense undergrowth of the Argonne forest. However, a critical error occurs. Their French map, likely unfamiliar or poorly interpreted in the stress of combat, leads them astray. Instead of outflanking the German positions, the small group inadvertently penetrates deep into enemy territory, ending up behind a German unit on guard. Around 6:10 a.m., the American patrol stumbles upon a German regimental command post, located in a narrow ravine behind the front lines. A brief, sudden firefight erupts. The Americans, with the element of surprise, manage to overcome the initial resistance, capturing a significant number of German soldiers, including several officers. The exact number of initial captives is not immediately clear, but it is a substantial group. The Americans begin to gather their prisoners, believing they have achieved a measure of success. But the situation quickly deteriorates. The captured Germans, realizing the small size of the American patrol and their precarious position, begin to shout warnings and calls for help. Their cries pierce the morning quiet, alerting nearby German machine gun nests positioned on the surrounding ridges. Suddenly, a torrent of deadly, incessant machine gun fire erupts from above, raking the ravine. The American patrol is caught in a devastating crossfire. Within moments, the precise, sweeping fire from the German guns cuts down 9 American soldiers. 3 non-commissioned officers fall, leaving Corporal Alvin York as the highest-ranking and only uninjured non-commissioned officer still standing among the surviving 8 men. The unit is decimated, pinned down, and facing annihilation. York immediately assumes command of the remaining 7 soldiers. The situation is desperate. The surviving Americans return fire, but the German machine guns hold a commanding position, pouring down a deadly hail of bullets. York realizes that their only chance is to silence those guns. He orders his men to guard the prisoners and provide covering fire while he alone takes on the machine gun nests. Utilizing the skills honed over years of hunting in the mountains of Tennessee, York begins to move. He takes cover, slowly and calmly working his way up the slope towards the primary machine gun position. He employs a turkey shoot method, a technique he learned from hunting, where he waits for the enemy to expose themselves. As German gunners raise their heads to aim and fire, York, with his Springfield rifle, methodically targets them. He picks off gunners one by one, his shots finding their marks with chilling accuracy. The German fire, initially overwhelming, begins to falter as gun after gun is silenced. Within the German lines, the situation is one of sudden, escalating confusion. Lieutenant Paul Jürgen Vollmer, commanding the 1st Battalion of the 120th Reserve Infantry Regiment, has been directing his troops against the American advance in the sector. Rumors of American penetrations have been common for days, but this is different. Suddenly, from a ravine behind his forward positions, shouts erupt, followed by the distinctive crack of American rifle fire and the urgent cries of captured German soldiers. Machine gunners, positioned on the ridge overlooking the ravine, immediately open fire. They see a small group of Americans, seemingly isolated, attempting to consolidate prisoners. The orders are to eliminate the threat, to prevent this small breach from becoming a larger infiltration. Initial reports suggest a minor skirmish, an easily contained incident. However, the situation quickly turns perplexing. The machine gunners report that their positions are being systematically targeted with astonishing accuracy. Heads that pop up to fire are immediately met with precise rifle shots. Gunners are falling at an alarming rate. It is as if a single, unseen marksman is picking them off with surgical precision. Lieutenant Paul Adolf August Lipp, commander of the 6th Company, orders his men to aim more carefully, to bring up additional riflemen, but the relentless, accurate fire continues, disrupting their coordinated defense. The German officers believe they are facing a larger, more organized American force than initially estimated, a flanking maneuver far more audacious than anything they anticipated. Their perception is one of being outmaneuvered and outgunned by an invisible, highly effective enemy. They cannot comprehend that the devastating fire emanates largely from one man. As Alvin York continues his methodical attack, a group of 5 or 6 German soldiers, perhaps seeing the devastating effect he is having on their machine gun positions, launches a desperate bayonet charge directly at his concealed position. York, without hesitation, drops his rifle and draws his Colt .45 pistol. He fires with calm precision, shooting down each of the charging Germans before they can reach him. This sudden, brutal display of individual combat, combined with the continuous, accurate rifle fire, utterly demoralizes the German forces on the ridge. Lieutenant Vollmer, witnessing the rapid collapse of his machine gun nests and the effectiveness of this seemingly unstoppable American, believes he is facing a much larger force. He has emptied his own pistol attempting to hit York, but without success. Seeing his mounting losses and the futility of further resistance, Vollmer makes a critical decision. He offers to surrender his entire unit to York. If you had been in Lieutenant Vollmer's position, facing an enemy that seemed to be everywhere at once, systematically dismantling your defenses, would you have made the same choice to surrender? Tell me in the comments. York accepts the surrender. The remaining German soldiers, stunned and demoralized, lay down their arms. In a truly astonishing feat, Corporal York and his remaining 7 men now have custody of 132 German prisoners, including 4 officers. The machine gun nests are silenced, their threat neutralized. The immediate danger to the American lines has been averted. The task, however, is not over. York must now lead this large column of prisoners, along with his small, exhausted squad, back to the American lines, a journey of considerable risk. They are still deep within enemy territory. Any misstep, any unexpected encounter, could turn their triumph into a disaster. The path back is fraught with the possibility of being fired upon by other German units, or even by their own American forces who might mistake them for an enemy advance. As they begin the perilous march back, they encounter more German soldiers. Lieutenant Kubeler and his platoon are among those encountered. Kubeler, sensing something is wrong, orders his men to follow him to the battalion command post. As they approach, they are surrounded by York's men and the growing column of prisoners. Kubeler and his platoon, seeing the overwhelming numbers of their own surrendered comrades, also lay down their arms, adding to York's astonishing tally. The sheer audacity of York's action, combined with the visible evidence of so many captured Germans, creates a ripple effect, leading to more surrenders. What does it tell you about a man that he made that choice with everything to lose, pushing forward when all odds were against him? Tell me in the comments. The column of prisoners grows, an incredible sight winding its way through the shell-pocked landscape. York maintains strict control, ensuring the prisoners remain compliant and that his small squad is vigilant. The journey is slow and tense. Every shadow, every distant sound, could signal new danger. They navigate through areas still contested, where sporadic fighting continues. The noise of distant artillery fire serves as a constant reminder of the ongoing battle. The sun begins to climb higher, burning off the last remnants of the morning fog, revealing the full scale of the Meuse Argonne battlefield. The sounds of combat, though now further away from York's immediate vicinity, are a pervasive backdrop. The German positions, once a source of deadly fire, are now silent, a testament to the effectiveness of York's actions. The route back to American lines is approximately 1.5 kilometers through enemy-held or contested ground. Every meter is a risk. York's leadership is not just about combat, it's about managing a fluid, chaotic situation. He directs his men, ensures the prisoners are kept together, and navigates the terrain carefully, avoiding obvious traps or further enemy concentrations. The weight of responsibility for so many lives, both American and German, rests squarely on his shoulders. His calm demeanor, even in the face of such an unprecedented situation, helps maintain order within the captured ranks. The sight of the approaching column, a small group of Americans leading over 100 German prisoners, causes a stir among the American forward positions. Initially, there is confusion, then disbelief, and finally, a wave of awe and relief. The machine gun fire that had pinned down their advance has ceased, and this improbable procession is the direct result. Which side of this story do you think history got wrong in its initial assessment of what was possible that day? Tell me in the comments. The final meters to the American lines feel like an eternity. With his remaining 7 men, Corporal Alvin York marches at the head of a column of 132 German prisoners. A staggering sight in the midst of the brutal Meuse-Argonne offensive. The weary American soldiers at the forward observation posts cannot believe their eyes. A small patrol, sent on a seemingly impossible mission, returns not just with intelligence, but with an entire captured enemy force. York approaches the American command post, his uniform soiled, his face grimed with dirt and sweat, but his eyes clear and resolute. He reports to his brigade commander, Brigadier General Julian Robert Lindsay. General Lindsay, astonished by the sheer number of prisoners, exclaims, "Well, York, I hear you have captured the whole German army." York, with characteristic humility and precision, replies, "No, sir. I got only 132. The air crackles with a mixture of disbelief and profound admiration. The German machine guns that had been pouring deadly fire onto the American positions for hours are now silent. The path forward, previously blocked by an impenetrable wall of fire, is now open." York's actions have not only neutralized a formidable enemy position but have also cleared the way for the 328th Infantry to resume its critical advance towards the Dickovel Railroad. The strategic objective, once seeming insurmountable, is suddenly within reach. The sheer scale of the capture, executed by a single corporal and a handful of men against overwhelming odds, solidifies itself into an instant legend on the front lines. It is a moment of raw, undeniable heroism that shifts the tide of a localized but crucial engagement. Corporal Alvin York's actions on October 8, 1918, reverberate immediately through the American Expeditionary Force and beyond. He is swiftly promoted to sergeant, a recognition of his extraordinary leadership and unparalleled courage under fire. For his singular valor, Sergeant York is awarded the Medal of Honor, the highest military decoration in the United States, alongside the Distinguished Service Cross. His heroism is also recognized internationally, earning him decorations from France, Italy, and Montenegro. York's exploit becomes a celebrated chapter in American military history, a symbol of individual bravery and the effectiveness of American fighting spirit in the Great War. His precise marksmanship, honed in the mountains of Tennessee, proved to be a decisive factor against the entrenched machine gun nests. His actions directly contributed to the success of the 328th Infantry Regiment in renewing its attack and securing a position on the vital Dickovel Railroad, a critical objective in the Meuse-Argonne offensive. The silencing of those machine guns allowed for the continued advance of the 82nd Division, enabling the broader Allied push that ultimately led to the armistice just over a month later. Despite his sudden fame, York remains a humble man. He returns to his home in Pall Mall, Tennessee, and dedicates his life to improving educational opportunities for children in his rural community. He uses his national celebrity and the proceeds from books and a film about his life to establish the Alvin C. York Institute, a vocational school, ensuring that his legacy served a purpose beyond military glory. His story becomes a testament not just to battlefield heroics, but to the enduring power of character and conviction. An unexpected fact about Sergeant York's legacy is that despite his incredible feat of capturing 132 Germans and silencing multiple machine guns, There are no official military records confirming that York himself brought back 35 captured machine guns to the lines, though his patrol undeniably neutralized the positions and their effectiveness. If this story moved you, if you think these men deserve to be remembered, leave one word in the comments: valor. Subscribe for a new forgotten story every week.